Many F1 fans believe that Mercedes' reign over their competition has finally ended after an 8-year winning streak. After 8 years, Lewis Hamilton has finally looked like a mediocre driver than one who has 7 world titles under his belt. But is this slump one that will stick? Or will the Silver Arrows inevitably bounce back and fight for the world title this season? Stick around to find out. Mercedes is currently 101 points behind the Constructors' Championships leaders this season, Red Bull. But even with a huge margin against their arch rivals, Mercedes still is the only car on the grid that has yet to experience a DNF in any of the past races. This proves that although the W13 isn't as fast as Mercedes wants it to be, the car is reliable and will always be there to pick up the pieces whenever either Red Bull or Ferrari both figuratively and literally flame out. This has been the case on multiple occasions, with Lewis Hamilton getting a podium finish after both Red Bull cars DNF'd at Bahrain, George Russell at Australia when Max Verstappen had to retire his car, and another one at Barcelona where it would be Ferrari's Charles Leclerc who wouldn't finish the race due to a power unit issue. This alone makes Red Bull's head of driver development, Helmut Marko, believe that Mercedes will sooner or later figure it out and be back in the fight for the title. In his words, Mercedes is doing incredibly fast laps in practice and also in the races, both with Hamilton and Russell. Not continuously, so for us, it's difficult to interpret where that lap time is coming from. Listening closely to the Mercedes people, I don't think they know either. But the dangerous thing is the potential seems to be there. And once that can be caught up over a race distance, then they'll be right up there or right at the front. Helmut would also be asked if he believes that Mercedes is still bluffing on the W13's capabilities as it did with their previous cars in the past seasons. Helmut would reply with, "The bluff was where they had this weird engine advantage, and last year, the Hamilton engine, there they were bluffing hard. So I don't believe that. And it's incredibly hard to understand where this car is incredibly fast. They're the fastest in the field at one stage, but it doesn't last long. What exactly changes there? Why can't they drive continuously is just, thank God, still the problem, I would say." Helmut, who had previously trolled Hamilton for having been lapped by Max at Imola, said Hamilton should have retired after the 2021 season when he had lost the world title to Max. Hamilton at the time would also respond to Marko's comments, saying, "I take that as fuel. I'm putting that into the pot and I'm going to turn that into a positive and I'm going to come back stronger. We are going to come back stronger as a team." But it seems like Helmut has now changed his position about Lewis Hamilton, with him now believing that Hamilton is far from over and that his driver Max Verstappen says that he should not be complacent. In his words, their car is getting faster every day. From the top times, they are already at our level or even better, so you really shouldn't write them off. If Mercedes suddenly dominates everything again, then Hamilton will be back too, along with other pundits and analysts. Many still believe that in time, Mercedes will be back in the fight. But time requires patience, something Lewis Hamilton isn't known for. The 7-time world champion was set to make the 2022 season his revenge season, as most Mercedes fans would call it, after what had happened in Abu Dhabi last season. But that hasn't been the case, and the British driver is publicly making his impatience known, after giving Toto Wolff and Mercedes engineers a deadline to figure things out. In his words, "I hope by the time we get to the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, we will have the car as we wanted, to be able to fight with Ferrari and Red Bull. It would be nice if we can give them a run for their money at our home race. I know that work is going on tirelessly in the factory to make progress with the car, and I have no doubt we will get it right sooner or later." Many experts were baffled when Mercedes unveiled their 2022 car design back in pre-season testing at Barcelona, where their car sported a side podless design. Mercedes would hear all the chatter and doubts that came their way, but reports say that the time indicated with the given design was producing exceptional results when the team trialled the design on their simulator. But those results on the simulator have failed to translate on the track so far, proven by their deficit to the championship leaders. Another problem for the W13 has faced is their porpoising issues that costed the team performance, as they were forced to raise the ride height to compensate against the phenomenon. That issue seemed to be fixed at Spain, where Lewis Hamilton would put in blistering lap times that made Mercedes and its fans believe that there is a hidden pace to be unlocked in the W13. But come Monaco, and the team and its car would take a step back, as Lewis Hamilton and George Russell would complain all race weekend long about how unstable and uncomfortable the W13 were around the streets of Monaco. But team principal Toto Wolff would still be confident that the porpoising issue had not returned in Monaco, saying, "I don't think we've had bouncing again. We are hitting the ground in a very different way. The car is too stiff, too low." Toto Wolff would also stay adamant in his belief that Mercedes and its engineers are still heading in the right direction. Wolff said in an interview last month, "We have committed ourselves to the current concept and we have to. If you don't believe in it, and you also give the other concept a 50% chance, you should switch immediately." But with their struggles at Monaco, Toto still believes in the team's chances to score points at Baku this weekend that will keep them within striking distance against the championship leaders. In his words, "We scored solid points, but more was possible over the weekend, and we need to be maximising every opportunity we can to stay in the fight." With another street circuit in Baku up next, the team has been working flat out to analyse those two races, Barcelona and Monaco, and identify the areas we can innovate to push us forward. Hamilton would also share his wishes for Baku, saying, "I don't know if it's the porpoising. I hope it's not what we had in the last race, so I want it to not be a problem. But if there are potholes, then in the corners we can have them." George Russell would also share his hopes for the team at Baku, saying, "Around Monaco, we were 6/10 behind, and into Baku, we will probably be 3/10 behind the frontrunners. We hope for the best case." George would also vent out his frustrations on the team's performance this season, and would also somewhat apply pressure to the team's engineers in him, saying, "I think if you told me prior to the season that we'd be 7 races in and I wouldn't have a victory to my name, I would have definitely been a bit disappointed with that. But I think given the pace of the car and given where we've been as a team, I've been reasonably pleased with how I've performed. I think the results have been maximised. I don't see many races where we could have achieved better results, but we've definitely got room to improve. You are constantly striving for more when you understand the car more, the tyres more. And you know, I want to fight for this championship. We've got to go against the likes of Max Verstappen at Red Bull, and obviously Charles Leclerc is doing an extremely good job at the moment with Ferrari. But as a team, we just need to keep on pushing. I need to keep on pushing personally, so more to come. Looking ahead to Baku, Mercedes will have to face an intriguing set of choices for their setup. The team showed in Barcelona that they can compete with Red Bull in terms of straight line speed. Now combine that with a low wing setting may give Lewis Hamilton and George Russell a chance to battle with Red Bull and Ferrari at qualifying. Mercedes introduced their version of a low downforce rear wing at Miami, so the team will have to choose between that and their usual, more heavily contoured wing at Baku. But what do you think? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.